Well, thanks for watching us today on our AirSculpt TV show. And we have a pretty exciting day. What we're going to do is we're going to start out by talking about our patient from 2 weeks ago, Viktoria. She had what we call up a cup or fat transfer to breast. And here are her first results. So we're going to talk to her. We're going to go live with her. She's going to tell you guys about her experience, what her results are like, and answer any of your questions. And I'm going to go over what you can expect, etc. But then what we're going to do is we're going to go live to Denver with Dr. Zadu. Dr. Zadu is doing a patient's legs, her full legs. That's inner thigh, knee, outer thigh, or saddlebag, and what we call banana roll, which is kind of deep crotch fat or fat under the butt. So we're doing all of that right now, and we're going to go live and speak to that patient, which is really exciting. So this is one of our most exciting shows we've done. And of course, we're going to answer all the questions that people have asked us in the last couple weeks. So we have a lot to do today. We might as well go live right now and talk to Viktoria about her procedure and see how she's doing. It's been exactly 2 weeks. Are you paying? What's going on?
It's waiting for them.
Okay, so we're trying to reach.
Rollins.
Oh,
Hi,
hello. Hi, bro.
Viktoria here. Hi.
Hey, Viktoria. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Thanks so much for doing this with us. It's amazing.
Absolutely.
So, okay, I'm looking at your results. When were these pictures taken? Are they taken at 1 week or 2 weeks or?
One was before, and then a week. I believe that was a week later.
Okay, so these are 1 week. So everyone watching, these are 1 week before and afters. Now, before I start pointing things out, what do you think about what you have so far?
Oh my gosh, this is honestly so amazing. The entry points are already healed.
Right.
So, and the swelling has gone down, and it's really, I'm getting so many compliments on my figure now. I mean, it's awesome.
And what size were you to start with?
I was a C. I was like a smaller C.
And now what would you say you are?
Definitely a D.
Okay, cool. And I'll tell you what I see when I look at the pictures, and you tell me what I'm missing or correct me. What I see is, first of all, on the front view, what I see is first of all, a fuller breast, but it looks not only fuller, but I think you have to adjust the camera a little bit. It looks fuller, and the other thing is I noticed a bit of a lift. Like if we look at the side view here, this is a much fuller breast, and if you notice this line here, it's much higher on this side. Do you feel like you have a bit of a lift happening?
Yes, definitely. Definitely.
And how is the entry points for your breast? One should be at 12 o'clock on the nipple line, and one should be underneath. How is that doing?
Oh, these have already healed. They're completely healed. These are too. They're already. Can you see them? Oh no. Yeah. No, they're completely healed. It's
wonderful. That's so exciting. Everyone who's watching, we used exactly this tool. So the hole that was made to transfer fat to her breast is exactly 2 millimeters. It's a freckle-sized hole, which probably on you is a scab now because it's been 2 weeks. So.
Oh, I don't have any scabs under here anymore. This one has a little bit of scab, but this one's completely gone. It's all the rest of them are gone.
That's wonderful. And how's your tummy doing?
It's really good. It's actually no swelling. I mean, after 2 weeks, I don't have any bruising anymore or anything. I barely.
That's wonderful.
Because of it.
And when did you go back to work?
The very next day.
Wow.
But actually, working when I was home that evening, I was up and cooking dinner. So.
Okay, so you made dinner that night. I love hearing that. That's so cool. That's great news. So thank you for sharing this with us. Is there anything you want to tell people who are watching? They watched your procedure and they're meeting you for the first time really now. So if anybody's watching, is there some question or something you were worried about before your procedure that you think other people might be worried about?
Honestly, I was a little nervous walking in, but coming here, the staff and the doctors here are so incredible. I felt very comfortable. And whenever I went into the procedure, I didn't feel anything at all, actually. The procedure lasted like 2 hours. And then honestly, I was up and walking around and cooking the next day. It is seriously life-changing, this whole technique.
Thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
really appreciate you not only getting AirSculpt, but sharing it with so many people.
Thank you. Thank you.
Amazing of you to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I love your results, and they're only going to get better. This is only the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg. Okay? So this is as bad as it will be. Okay? It's going to get much, much better. So thank you so much for sharing this with us. And we're going to go to Denver and show a patient having her legs done. Bye, Brooke.
Bye, Dr. Rollins.
Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you so
Okay.
much.
Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what does full legs mean. So we've talked about a lot of areas, but what we haven't talked about is legs. So legs are a really, really common area that we AirSculpt. Let me tell you what legs means. Legs means your inner thigh, which is probably what, besides tummy, the most common thing we do. So inner thighs are, I'd say, 70% of women's trouble spot. So we do inner thighs in every office every day. And how do we do that? Well, we do them with the patient's knees. Everyone says, well, my knees are fine. Well, the problem is proportion. When you have a bigger inner thigh, the knee matches the inner thigh. And when you combine the inner thigh and the knee together, you have what's called a cosmetic unit. And what that means is if you do one, you have to do the other, or it's going to look disproportionate. So on the patient that you're going to meet today, her name's Vanessa, by the way. When we see Vanessa, she's having her inner thighs and knees done, and then she's having her saddlebags done, or outer thigh. Now, outer thigh isn't hips. Hips for us is kind of like where your hip bones are. Outer thigh is kind of the area that on some people sticks out. A lot of women complain that it really bothers them in yoga pants or exercise gear, etc., or just it's hard when they pull up their jeans get stuck there. Some women are super skinny and they just have outer thigh fat. I've seen that many, many times. So that can be a major trouble spot. And when we do all this, we also combine it with an area called banana roll. Everyone asks, what does banana roll mean? I've never heard of that. It's actually a term used in plastic surgery for fat underneath the butt. It's kind of like the back of your inner thigh. And we always do it to complete the picture because it gives you more space between your thighs. A lot of people come to us just because their thighs rub and summer's coming and it's hot and uncomfortable and they just want their thighs to not touch. And Vanessa is a good example of we want our thighs to not touch anymore. So that's what we're going to accomplish. Also in a bathing suit, when you do banana roll, everything looks much better and it makes you look, you have what's called a diamond zone. What's a diamond zone? It's a diamond zone is you have one butt cheek here, that's the top of the diamond, and then the inner thigh and the inner thigh, and that creates a diamond. And some people really go after that look, especially where we are in Miami. That's a very sought after anatomical feature. But for us, what we care about is making our patients comfortable, and no one really likes their thighs rubbing. So that's how we achieve that, and that's what we're going to see today. A couple other things I want to mention before we go live is that we are going to be rolling out a AirSculpt Ambassador program, and that's going to be rolled out in the first week of July. And what does that mean? Simply, we have so many happy patients, for example, Viktoria, who you just met. When our patients refer other patients, then we give you credit if you want an additional procedure. And all the details will be coming out in the first week of July, but I wanted to we've been working on this for a long time, and I wanted to mention to everyone that it's finally happening. So let's go live to Denver, and what we're going to do is we're going to start by showing you the Denver office, because I don't think anyone's ever seen how beautiful it is or the look of the interior of an office. We just show you the operating room. So today we have Karen there, who's our patient care coordinator, and she's going to show you around a little bit, and then we'll go to the operating room. So let's go to Karen, okay?
Just kidding now.
Okay, so you pinged her?
Yeah.
Are we waiting on something? I could answer questions.
Yeah. So, actually,
Okay, ask me some questions.
we have some questions.
Oh, where are the entry points?
Yeah.
So that's a common question for legs. First of all, again, it's so small that worst case scenario, it's a freckle, but one goes on the inside of each knee, but we always put it in a crease. And then one goes on the inside of the inner thigh. And then another one goes where your butt, the bottom of your butt, inner thigh meet is a crease. And then for your outer thighs, we use the same incision point or puncture where your butt and inner thigh meet. It's called the infragluteal crease. So we put one there, and then we have something that says view. Is that her?
So she's gone ahead and requested.
Oh.
We're going to go ahead and.
Okay, wait, let me finish. And then for outer thighs, and then there's one at the top of the saddlebag and one at the bottom for drainage. So those are our incision points. Now we can go to Denver.
Connecting.
Cool. Okay.
Hi.
Well, hello, Karen.
How
you
are
doing?
you?
Hi. Thanks for showing us Denver.
Of course.
Give us the tour, please.
Of course. So here we are in our lovely Denver clinic. We are located on 157 Steel Street, Denver, Colorado,
Cool.
80206. And we are seeing in-person consultations as well. So if you are in the area, come on down.
Okay.
This is our beautiful clinic.
Yeah, we are finally open there and seeing patients every day and doing consults. And show the outside what's near us, because sometimes people get lost around
Of
there.
course.
What businesses or stores are next to us on the street?
So we are right across from Chipotle.
Okay.
Right next to a Wells Fargo. It is a beautiful day out here in Denver. We are located right underneath the apartment complex, and we're just right at the end of it as well. So
isn't there a
come
hotel
on down,
nearby?
guys.
Karen, is there a hotel nearby? Is there a hotel nearby?
Yes, sir, there is. So there is a Jacari hotel nearby
Okay.
that people can always
So
come and stay in.
We've had a lot of patients fly to Denver, and I think that's where they've been staying. So let's show us more about the office, then we'll go to the operating room.
Of course. So when you walk in, of course, you'll be greeted by our lovely receptionist.
Mm-hmm.
And here is our beautiful office. We do have a procedure going on right now for inner and outer thighs.
Mm-hmm. Are we doing banana roll too?
And banana roll, yes, and knees, yes.
And knees.
And we will I'll be taking you guys back there right now. You guys want to see it?
So let's talk to Vanessa and Dr. Zadu.
Sounds good. So here is, when you walk on by, this is what it looks like. It is beautiful, tall mirrors. Everyone loves these mirrors.
Good. I'm very proud of the office. I was there just before the quarantine. Oh, we may have lost her.
Hello.
Oh, we didn't lose you. Amazing. All right, are we in the operating room?
We are, of course. So we are starting her left leg.
Well, let's meet her. I want to meet Vanessa.
Vanessa?
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm
Thank you for
good.
doing this, Vanessa. It's
Oh my,
amazing.
absolutely, absolutely. I'm happy to.
How has it gone so far?
Great. I'm like super comfortable and relaxed and just chatting it up with the nurses and having some fun. I'm so relaxed right now.
I'm so happy to hear that. How much fat have you got now, doctors, to do?
Well, out of the right inner medial thigh, we've done about 400 so far.
Oh, let's see it. Can we see the fat curve?
Of course. So look at that.
Okay, so that's one inner thigh and knee. It looks like that's
Just one
great.
inner thigh and knee, not even the outer thigh yet, which is incredible.
That's great. And Vanessa, how did you hear about AirSculpt?
Well, I'm an aesthetic nurse, and one of my clients actually told me that she did this, and I'm familiar with cool sculpting. I'm not a fan, and so I wanted to check you guys out. And after I talked with my client, she told me that you guys were in Denver, and I live right in Cap Hill, so about 5 minutes from you guys. So I popped in one day, and then the rest is history.
That's wonderful. You've been so kind to share this experience with other people. Now,
Yeah.
when you had cool sculpting, how was that experience? What kind of result did you get?
Honestly, the experience itself wasn't bad. It wasn't too painful, but like I just didn't see a drastic change. I'm not saying the science isn't there, but it's just for the amount of money you pay for, most people want those drastic results. So
Sure.
I just I don't feel like it gives that. You know what I mean? But I mean, it's a great alternative. Again, that's not invasive. So for people who are
Sure. Of
but
course.
it's very subtle. It's very subtle to where sometimes you're like, I don't really know if it did anything,
Yeah.
So
Not the first time I've heard that. So
yeah.
what we're going to do now is we're going to go live with your, first of all, one of your inner thighs is done, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to actually take your hand with the glove on it and feel the difference when you pinch it. Since you're an aesthetic nurse, you'll be able to feel that subdermal fat layer and see how much fat is left on your inner thigh.
Right. Do you want me to do that right now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna lean up a little bit. So this is the right leg that's been done.
Uh-huh.
Like this.
Right. So what's left there? Yeah. Do you feel a big difference? We're losing reception, it sounds like. So, Karen, maybe you can get... Karen, we've lost you guys a little bit. Can you try to move around or something?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm pinching both legs. My right leg.
Can you hear us okay?
We can, but the video's not working.
Oh no. Let me try again.
Okay. Let's try to reconnect. Want to disconnect it on me? Okay.
Yeah,
Let's try again.
In the meantime,
That was the good part.
yeah.
We just okay. So hopefully, okay. There she is. Let's try and do this again.
Here we go, guys.
Sorry, everybody. Okay.
Connecting.
Waiting for. I'm sorry.
Sorry,
Okay.
guys.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
We're back.
Okay. So Vanessa, what do you think?
I
Do
can
you-
tell an immediate difference. It was
Okay. So you have.
pinching both, like I can feel all my fat still over here, and it just feels nice and muscular underneath on the right leg where they.
And that's only the tip of the iceberg. Like, you literally just finished that thigh a couple minutes ago.
Yeah.
So that's not your result at all. But I just want to, there's such a dramatic change with AirSculpt. It's not a fair fight. It's a totally different story. Like, it's not ambiguous, right? This is like a very dramatic change between one and the other.
It is immediately dramatic. I can absolutely tell.
Wonderful. Okay, now let's start your other thigh, and we're doing a chit chat while you're having it done. So, Dr. Zadu, you can start air sculpting her other thigh, and you know what we're going to do, Vanessa, is just ask if anyone who's watching this wants to ask you a question. Go ahead. So, what do we got?
Okay.
And she is in the Denver location. So if you guys want to come on down and get a consult here in Denver, this is where it all happens.
Thank you, Karen. Okay, what are our questions, Lauren?
Hi, Vanessa. So some of our fans are asking you how you're feeling right now, how the actual procedure is feeling.
Literally, they said, does it hurt?
Yes. No, it does not hurt. I am like literally in the best mood right now. You know, my nurses and everyone is super friendly. I'm so comfortable. There's no pain whatsoever. I just feel like vibrations, honestly, because the numbing just takes all of any type of pain away that could potentially be there. But I don't feel anything.
Got a little bit of tickling, but
Tickling,
I think that's
oh
all
yeah,
you complained about.
tickling by my groin, and that was really all that there was.
That's plus or minus.
Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
I mean, it's not painful at all. I'm so happy right now, you know.
Oh, thank you. Wait, here's another question. Will there be loose skin? Well, that's a question for me. Well, with AirSculpt, your skin will always be tighter than it is when you started. It will not be looser. So we are tightening her skin as we do this. So that's a very important point, and it refers to any AirSculpt procedure, not just Vanessa's inner thighs, but everyone worries about loose skin. If I was having a procedure done, I'd worry about it too. But the skin tightening with AirSculpt is one of its strongest features, and one of the greatest benefits that we get is your skin will actually be tighter than it was when you walked in this morning. Let's see, here's another question. Do you feel a tugging? Do you feel the instrument moving under your skin?
You know, I just feel the vibrations. I don't feel like there's really no pain involved. Yeah, I mean, I can feel it go up because of the vibrations. I can feel where it is in my body, but it's not like a weird thing at all. It's just, I can feel when the probe moves from one area to the other just from where the vibrations are coming from.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what? Let's talk to Dr. Sadu. Karen, would you point
Sure.
at Dr. Let's show what's going on with the AirSculpt procedure. So there we go. Show her leg and show Dr. Sadu.
Hi, Dr. Zadu. Say hi to the crowd.
Hi, Doc.
Working on Vanessa's medial thigh way in the upper part, the part that drives all women crazy.
Well, we can't hear him very well, Karen.
Oh, you can't hear him? Okay.
Perfect. There we go.
So we're working on the upper inner thigh, and especially that most top part that drives all women crazy when they pinch it. So our goal is to not have her be able to pinch it and bug her.
Wonderful. And were her thighs touching before? Does she want her thighs to not touch anymore?
Yes, she was.
Yeah, they were touching, which it doesn't bother me. I like thick thighs, but it's just gonna be a better shape for myself. You know what I mean?
Perfect. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
that's our aim exactly.
yeah. I don't want like a no gap. Like, you know, I'm fine with some touching, but there was definitely thighs touching together, and we'll see how it turns out after. Either way, like, I love curviness. It's all about just kind of contouring where
That's
I
what
want.
we're here to do.
You know?
We like to make people more curvy, not less curvy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
She's a great spokesperson for us.
Did you hear
She
that?
is. She's actually, Vanessa, you're a great spokesperson for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then
Any thoughts on AirSculpt, Dr. Zadu? Anything you want to tell people that are watching
No, it's fine. That was way better, yeah.
that you come across?
I can tell you that I had trained years ago with traditional liposuction, and I won't ever do that again.
I love hearing that. Okay.
Technology is just so superior.
It is, yeah. I don't think it's fair. I feel like doing liposuction is malpractice when this exists. It's just not fair. So.
And they're more comfortable. They go home and go to work very quickly.
Yeah, I have work tomorrow, and I'll be there.
Good.
I'm going back to
Wonderful.
work right tomorrow, so.
Wonderful. And
Yeah.
we would love to see your results when you have them, you know. So I love following up with people. So we're definitely going to ask you if you don't mind showing your legs, your before and after on your legs. That's what we've been doing every week. So
Yeah.
this has been wonderful. Any other questions from people watching before we let them be? What's that in her hand? Oh, what's that in her hand? So
yes.
that's laughing gas. And we give people the opportunity, if they want to have laughing gas, to have laughing gas. And the reason is because it's fun. It's not like a David goes to the dentist level of gas, okay, where you don't know your name. It's just enough. I want the procedure to be fun. Have you been listening to music?
I mean, yes, but we've been chatting in here the whole time too, so.
It's kind of like, I want it to be like you're going to a spa, having a couple glasses of wine, and just getting skinnier.
That's exactly. I feel very relaxed, chilled out. This helps, you know.
Cool.
It's good. Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah. Wonderful. Oh, do we have one more question before we go?
Yeah, so someone wants to know how you feel about actually being awake during this procedure.
I love being awake. I mean, the whole thought of being put under anesthesia is very not comforting for me. I wouldn't have done this if I had to go under, just because that whole thing scares me. So being awake, it's, you know, we give feedback back and forth. I'm able to tell them, like, you know, I told them to put a little more numbing in one area just because I could feel it a little bit. And that's what it's all about, is being able to explain, you know, how I'm feeling, so we can just have a really overall.
Perfect.
You know,
we want you to be an active participant in your procedure.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's wonderful. Actually, that's what.
So it feels good to be awake and be interactive, and I don't feel out of it at all. Like, I feel just like my normal self right now. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. What, Dr.
I just want to comment on the awake part. It actually is safer for us as surgeons because we know where we are inside the body better than if they're completely asleep. And that's a big deal.
Another thing that when I operate that I like is you can tell the patient to move in a certain way so you can get to every corner, every nook and cranny, leave no stone unturned. When a patient is asleep, they're like a sack of potatoes. And
right.
I've
kind of been like moving to help him maneuver certain.
I love that. It's a dance. And you cannot do anything like that under any form of anesthesia. No. So thank you so much. You've been an angel. I really appreciate it.
You guys are all angels. I love my team here. I'm so happy.
Thank you. I really thank all of you. Thank you, Karen, too.
Vanessa. I'm in Cherry Creek in Colorado, so in the area of Denver. And you know, Denver's a great area. So if you guys are local and want to travel here for this, it's a great spot. It's a great city, you know. I'm glad you guys came here.
Thank you. I'm glad we did too. It's one of our prettiest offices.
It is.
We have such a great team there. Okay, thank you very much. We're going to leave you guys alone, and we'll see your before and afters sometime in the future.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Thank you for chatting with us. We'll see you guys again.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. So what we're going to do now, is just go over some leg questions. And Lauren, if you see any questions that come up, then we'll answer them. So here are the most common questions we've been asked about legs. We talked about the entry points. Again, there's always with AirSculpt, just like what Vanessa's doing right now, no needle, no scalpel, no stitches, and of course you're awake. So Viktoria, our patient at fat transfer to the breast 2 weeks ago, made dinner right after her procedure for her family. And you can do that because you're really awake and you're really with it. So, oh, can we achieve a thigh gap with this procedure? Yes, you can. Some people want a thigh gap. Some people want less of a thigh gap. Some people want no thigh gap. We're here to help you achieve your goals. So it's not a one-off thing where either, it's not one size fits all. It's one size fits none. So your surgeon meets with you. You talk about what are your goals. You show pictures perhaps of pre-quarantine what your legs look like and now what you want them to look like after, or what your hopes are, or things you're struggling with, and we help you with those things. So can we achieve a thigh gap? Absolutely. It's one of the things that I've done quite a bit in my career is help people with thigh gap. Will I be able to walk after this procedure? Absolutely. Not only will you be able to, but you must. You have to walk at least 45 minutes a day. There's no not walking. There's no bed rest. There's no nothing. You move on with your life right after. So outer thigh AirSculpt. Can we leave some of the fat there to maintain a natural curve? Not only can we, but we always do. That's a really great question, actually. The worst thing you can do in any body contouring procedure is actually take too much. So the art of body contouring is taking the right amount, not taking every last drop of fat. So that's a great question. And our whole goal is curvy, natural, feminine beauty, period. When can I resume running after having my legs done? That's a great question too. Running, I'd like to say 3 weeks. Fast walking, the next day or the day of. But running, like if you're training for a marathon, you're gonna have to take 3 weeks off. Some people say 2, but if it was my sister, I would say 3, and the reason is just because if you resume fast running too fast, you will get more swelling. So I want our patients to get their result, move on with their life. Can I wear tight clothing after the procedure? Absolutely, and you will probably want to. So yes, please do. And I always say the hidden cost of AirSculpt is you might have to buy some new clothes that are tighter fitting. How do I know if I need a lift or fat removal? That's a great question. If you can pinch it, we can take it. That's our motto. So if you have nothing to pinch and you just have empty, loose skin, this is not for you. That means you need a thigh lift. If you pinch your inner thigh or your outer thigh and you have at least kind of this much of a rubbery pinch where it feels kind of like soft rubber under your skin, that's fat, and that's what we do. In fact, it's all we do, and that's all AirSculpt is here to do. So that's the answer to that question. Can I still have my thighs done if I know I have excess skin? Perfect question. So what if you have both loose skin and fat? We can help you. Your skin will be tighter afterwards. It will not be looser, and they'll be a lot skinnier. Will you have a perfect thigh like you did when you were 16? No. But you will have a skinnier thigh, and the skin will be better and not worse. Is thigh fat influenced by genetics? It is believed to be what's known as estrogenic or hormonal fat. So that's fat that's some people who go on birth control pills, they get inner thigh fat, or just as they get to a certain age, like 24 or 26, and suddenly they have inner thigh fat. So it is a fat that is related to female hormones, and AirSculpt is great for it because you could be perfectly fit, have a great diet, exercise, etc., and still have your inner thighs could just be too bulky for your body type and what your goals. And AirSculpt is perfect to remove that. Just like Vanessa, our patient we just saw, she's in great shape, as you could all see it. She takes care of herself. She just had a problem with her legs, and now in an hour and a half, she will not have that problem anymore. Will my cellulite be treated? That's a great question too. In my opinion, there's no good treatment for cellulite. Some patients who have AirSculpt say that it improved upon their cellulite. Some patients say there was no change. So this is not a treatment for cellulite, and I hope one day a good treatment comes out for cellulite, in which case we would offer it. But right now, I don't feel like there is. if your cellulite will not get worse, and if it gets better, then that's a wonderful thing. If I target my hips and thighs, will I have an hourglass look? We're all about the hourglass look. That's why it's part of our logo right here. So yes, something a lot of people do is they do their waist and hips and outer thigh. I call that the hourglass. So what we do is we contour the outer thigh to do this, and then we do the waist hip area so you go in like that. And that's one of my favorite things to do. So if you combine an outer thigh with a waist, you get a very pronounced hourglass style figure. Any other questions?
Yes, we have two main ones that people keep asking us. Does this help lipedema?
Oh, okay. So lipedema is a great topic of conversation. First of all, lipedema most commonly occurs in the legs. And yes, AirSculpt really helps with lipedema. It helps very strongly with lipedema. I love lipedema patients. And it's funny, we get asked about it so often, but I never see it in the media or on TV. It's a really serious thing that so many women are struggling with. And yes, AirSculpt will greatly, greatly help with lipedema. And I encourage you to come for a consult if you have lipedema.
What do you consider the saddlebags?
Okay, what do I consider the saddlebag? The saddlebag is an area of outer thigh fat that goes from it's your outer thigh from midway up all the way to just below your pelvis. So that's the best way to describe it, is if it's your outer thigh and it's below your pelvis and above your knee. Fat anywhere in that area is what we call outer thigh.
Awesome. And then we have also a huge major one that a lot of people keep asking. They just want to know the difference between traditional liposuction and AirSculpt.
Okay, let's talk about the differences between AirSculpt and traditional lipo. First of all, AirSculpt is not lipo, it's AirSculpt. It's patented. It's done nowhere else but Elite Body Sculpture. We have 11 locations, soon to be 14, and we are opening in 3 locations, including Toronto, very, very shortly. And it's only done with us. I'm the inventor of AirSculpt and proud to say that. So AirSculpt has no needle, no scalpel, no stitches. You're obviously awake, as you just saw. With liposuction, you could be either fully asleep and intubated and under general anesthesia. You could be twilight anesthesia, or you could actually be awake. So that's really important. And so there's so many different ways to take out people's fat. And so traditional liposuction is probably the most old school way and the most invasive, which means, yes, can it take out your fat? Yes, but in a very invasive way with a lot of post-operative pain. And I feel like inferior results, in my opinion. Something great about AirSculpt is your skin gets tighter, and we're able to remove fat cell by cell, one fat cell at a time, with such a small robotic device. It does better than a human hand can do. It's not fair. As you can see, Dr. Zadu was not exerting himself in any way. Wherever you point the AirSculpt tool, it does a perfect job of removing the fat evenly and cleanly, so that you don't have a lumpy, bumpy appearance or contour irregularities. And the movement of the tool actually is what helps tighten the skin. That's a very important thing. We also have no stitches. We have no drains. You can go back to work right away, and your healing time is so much faster. I don't think that's even comparable. So, I mean, we have these fat transfer to breast results, or upper cup results. That patient had that done 2 weeks ago. She's already happy. You can see a beautiful, smooth result. There's no bruising, etc. This is as minimally invasive, in my opinion, as real fat removal gets. If you want real results, but you don't want an invasive procedure, I think AirSculpt personally is the only choice. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. We are going to announce next week what kind of patient and what kind of procedure we're going to see. And we're going to show you more results and go to a different location. So thanks everyone for watching. I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope you join us next week. Take care. Thank you.
Ambassadors.